She's like super complicated, right?
I wouldn't say complicated.
So let me ask this right now before we finish this. If you are starting this game and you don't want to accidentally pick like Sea Viper or El Fuerte or some crazy, like completely out of the ordinary character, you know, that requires all this craziness, like which characters would you kind of stay away from if you're just trying to learn the game?
I mean, if anybody, it would probably be Vanessa.
So, despite Gerald's warning, a lot of people like this character. He is right though, Vanessa is pretty complicated. She has the most number of moves in the game because each of her two stances, offense and defensive stance, constitute basically their own character. So what I want to do is narrow the focus here. We're just going to talk about defensive stance Vanessa, and we're going to concentrate on like 20 moves and talk about when you would want to use these. To summarize defensive stance Vanessa, I would say that she's not a combo-focused character. Most of her damage will come from short exchanges that often don't even lead to a knockdown, the main exception being her throws. Vanessa makes up for this by having very strong options at frame disadvantage in defensive stance. Vanessa's elbow class move is her from crouch P, which is 13 frames. You want to use this at a minor frame advantage. One really easy setup that's important for Vanessa is punch after it's guarded is +2. At that point, her from crouch P will interrupt any of your opponent's options, including 2P. So the problem with this is that the input for from crouch P is kind of tricky because you have to buffer in a crouch state. You can do that either with 3-3 or 3-2-3. But either way, this is kind of a difficult command, especially if you're playing on pad. When you get a counter hit with from crouch P, you do get your opponent's in a stagger state, and there's no guaranteed follow-ups for this. And you'll see a lot of Japanese players just kind of run up and throw or do like a punch or something. If you're playing someone who doesn't stagger break, you can get a short combo starting with K. Once you have a medium frame advantage, the next mid you're going to want to know is 6P, which is a half circular 16 frame mid that has a K follow-up. So you can hit confirm the 6PK, and you'll want to do that because the K is a high, which the opponent can 2P under if you're not hit checking it. The problem with this move is that it leaves you at a frame disadvantage even on hit. So you'll want to do like a fuzzy guard or just some basic defense option after the string commits, but this is still one of your safest ways to get damage at medium frame advantage. The 6PK string does have a K follow-up, so it would be 6PKK. The reason you don't really want to go for this is that the damage you get from the last hit is not very substantial, and it's also super punishable on guard. So outside of combos, I would not really recommend using this. 6K is also a 16 frame mid. This one's linear. On counter hit, it leads to a catch grab and with a kind of a three-way guess built into it. So it's either forward, neutral, or back P plus G. And this is another way you're going to reliably get damage with Vanessa. What's not great about it is that it does require a correct read on your part. Also, at some frame advantages against some opponents, it is punishable on evade, like Kage here. Vanessa's sweep is super good. The input's 2K plus G, and what's great about this move is that it has this built-in fuzzy guard, where if you land the sweep and then just hold guard, you will stand up in time to guard your opponent's fastest mid, and the animation that you'll be standing up in is not throwable, so you'll duck the throw. So one of the downfalls of defensive stance is that her punishes are pretty bad. At plus 12, she gets a regular PK punish, and unfortunately at plus 15, it's also still PK punish. It's not until plus 16 and plus 17 that she starts getting more damaging options. Her throws in defensive stance are good, not necessarily anything to write home about. The throws you'll want to use are half circle forward, P plus G, half circle back, P plus G, and neutral. Her most damaging throw is her back throw. Vanessa also has low throws. You can use these to punish people who are tech rolling, but the timing is kind of tricky. One string I see a lot of beginner players use a lot is Vanessa's KK string. This string is alright. It starts mid, it's 16 frames, it is linear, it looks circular, but it's not. The follow-up is a full circular high that side turns. The problem is the second hit is only guaranteed on counter hit, so you'll want to hit check that. If you don't, the opponent can duck the high follow-up and punish you for it, even on normal hit. Whenever Vanessa's K plus G circular hits counter hit, which it'll do anytime it hits an evade, for example, 2P becomes unguardable. One thing to be aware of, though, is if K plus G hits at max range, 2P can whiff. 66K is a full circular mid that is safe on guard, which is nuts, and it knocks down on counter hit, it knocks down on normal hit, sometimes it rings out. It's a very, very good move. I like it a bunch. So if that's all that defensive stance Vanessa could do, I would argue that she's an incomplete character. Her offense options are okay, but they're certainly limited. It's because of the next 4 moves that a strong Vanessa player can hold their own against any opponent using any character. Let's start with one that's very specific. So I'm going to record Kage doing a high kick, a mid kick, and a low attack. Vanessa's 4-6 P plus K is going to beat the high kick and the mid kick, but it would lose to any low attack. It also loses to any non-kick attack. It does lead to a short combo. So there it was beating the high, here it is beating the mid, and it loses to low. Here's a short combo that you can use after 4-6 P plus K, that's pretty easy. Similarly, her 4-6K P string will beat out highs and mids and loses to lows. However, it doesn't give you a combo or a knockdown, but it also doesn't have the restriction of only Sabakiing kick attacks, so that's nice. Lastly, there's her 1P, which will beat out high attacks, lose to mid attacks, and beat low attacks. If you remember anything from this video, please remember these 3 moves from defensive stance. So I need to show off Vanessa's 3P, which is a 10 frame high. What's great about this move is that most people's approaches are designed around beating 2P, which is 12 frames. For most characters, that's their fastest attack, but because Vanessa has this 10 frame high, she can interrupt a lot of frame traps and other setups. Here's very basic stuff, just using elbow to beat 2P. Whether she's at -2, -3, here you can see that 3P is beating out Kage's elbow. Alright, and lastly, the attack that you can use to beat throws is her 3P plus K, which leads to a really easy combo. So that's all I have for defensive stance Vanessa. I thought it'd be nice to close this video out by showing off a replay from this year's Beat Tribe Cup, where a Japanese Vanessa player uses defensive stance exclusively when fighting against Jeffrey. So watch this video, keep an eye out for some of the stuff that I was talking about, and hopefully you can see some of it in motion. Thanks for joining.
Oh!
さあ前投げが入る。
だいたい今があれですかね、予備予選の各ブロックの準決勝ぐらいになるんですかね。これはさあリーチがかかる。出し切る。あっとどうか。
おお、いい連携ですね。
つないだ。
前が入る。さあまだつなぐ。さあ入った。
おお、さあ大将戦に持ち込んだ。
これで大将戦ですね。
さあ大将笹塚を先ほどはね大将戦をさらっと勝っていましたが、さあ今回どうなるでしょうか。
膝2回開幕。なんだ。
セクシーが吠えてますね。
くわっ、さあ繋いでいる。
おーできるんだね
できるんだね。
しじまくん本名言っちゃったけど
1ラウンドだけで膝5回ぐらい打ってましたね。うわまた膝打ってる。
いやーでもやっぱね大会でこう敵ビビらすっつうのはねやっぱそういうヤバさもちょっと見せなきゃいけない部分ありますからね、まあ、そこのバランスなんですけれども。おお、さあ
1-1。
いいっすね。
おおおおお調子に乗ってます。
いやーずるいことしかしない感じが
悪いバーチャですねこれ。
まあそうですね
これを海外の人にやるのはちょっといかがなものかと、
まあ完全に荒らしにいってるプレーではありますが、ただまあ結果的にはいい勝負になっているのが面白い。
確かに
さあお前は最終ラウンドも暴れられるのかと膝ヒット。さあ分かんない。どうなるあ
お前
さすがオスがまさかの勝利。